Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Midwest Buzz. I'm JC,
And I'm Olivia.
and we are so excited to be here today in your earbuds, in your car,
On your
watching
screen.
on YouTube,
Whatever.
all the things. We're here for it. I had so much fun with Ashlyn last week.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a very random conversation.
It was very random, but it was a good time.
Yeah.
She
She did good.
Yeah, she second shot a wedding with me on Saturday, so that was kind of fun. It actually ended up being like,
Oh, it was such a nice day.
yeah, for being like a winter, like March wedding in the Midwest, they lucked out. Like,
Seriously, they
It
could have had a
was-
day like today.
I know, it was like 30 some degrees, like the sun was out, it wasn't windy, which is wild. Like, when do you get not windy days in
Right.
the Dakotas? But yeah, it was really pretty. Very fun.
Yeah, we went out to my parents and let Blue play at the lake, and yeah, it was just
Yeah.
nice.
Oh yeah, so Olivia came with me for scouting on Friday, because sometimes depending on what the weather is going to be like, or if I'm shooting in a new place, I'll always like scout out the locations before the wedding. And so Blue and Piper got to go on a little adventure
Yeah.
for scouting. That
Blue
was
had
fun.
a good weekend. He got to do
Yeah.
a lot, which you can see in my weekly vlog on my YouTube channel.
Ooh, fun.
It was
Have
a
you
short one
posted
this
it
week,
recently?
but yeah, I just posted it yesterday.
I didn't see
I
it.
think.
I'll have to go find
I
it.
haven't shared it on
Oh,
anything yet.
okay.
I just like posted it on YouTube,
Yeah.
so.
I'll have to go watch it. But yeah, that's kind of what I did this last weekend, and now I've just been like hunkered down editing and just like,
With your broken computer. Have you talked
Yeah.
about that on here?
I don't know if we have. When I was in Mexico, the humidity like got to like my computer, the screen has water damage, whether it's humidity or like how it got that way. But I can like airdrop or like airplay my screen onto like my big like 65-inch TV at home. And so I've been like doing all my culling and like sorting and stuff on there, because this huge screen down the middle,
Yeah.
like it's impossible to use half of
Yeah.
a screen looking at photos.
Yeah, that
and
would
it just
be
hurts your eyes.
So annoying.
Yeah, and I've just been putting it off. I need to just pull the trigger. I have it in my cart, but like I just need to buy a new one.
It's too bad you can't. Can you like send in that computer for money
So
back?
I think what I could do is probably get it fixed and then sell it. Or I
I
think
didn't
they
know
would
if
give
Apple
you
had
a,
a trade-in policy.
they give
of,
you
some
like
sort of
trade in
discount.
for it, but I don't know. I need to look into it. I might just wait, get my new one, get everything figured out, maybe then send it in and then just sell it.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing, but
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's like one of the like second to probably having a camera. It's like the most important
yeah,
tech thing that I have in my business. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to have a computer.
yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, but no, people can watch your weekly vlog. That's what I was doing this weekend. And speaking of weddings, that's what we're doing today. We pulled I actually pulled
Oh, he just
my
he's
is little
in
man
my
moving.
He's been in my like hip bone, and I think it's got to be his head because it just kind of
Oh.
rests. But he just like punched down there, and sometimes it twinges, hurts.
Dang.
Also, he gets hiccups a lot, which is good because it means he's practicing breathing.
Well, that's good.
But-
Strong little dude.
Yeah.
He's gonna come out doing curls.
I don't know. I hope he comes out with a head full of hair. The amount of heartburn and acid reflux I've had. I'm
Ugh.
literally getting like, have you ever heard of GERD?
No.
It's like, oh, I can't remember the exact terminology for it, but it's
Do tell.
basically like gastroesophagus something disorder. But
Oh.
it's when you get acid reflux so much that it like burns your esophagus.
Ow.
So I've been getting it so much that it's like anything causes. I'm eating like super healthy and super anti-inflammatory.
Like if you
and all the
literally
things.
just ate rice, it would do it.
Yeah. I mean, like if I ate rice and then didn't like walk around after, or
Oh, weird.
yeah. So I've been trying to eat like very plain, very
Yeah.
like last night Adam and I went out with my parents and I got salmon thinking like it would be good, but it was a lemon pepper salmon and the pepper set it off.
Oh.
So, and I only ate half of it.
Well, and I feel like
I try to
salmon
eat
they always
smaller.
put like citrus on too.
Yeah.
Like lemon.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like
Yeah.
you just have to be careful. And honestly, eating ice cream helps a lot because it makes my throat feel so good.
Oh yeah.
But it's also the cutoff, like you don't want to eat like 2 hours before you're going to go to bed. and you don't want to lay down for like an hour after you've eaten. And sometimes after you eat, you just want to lay down. Anyways, that's a symptom I'm dealing with pregnancy.
So fun.
It's so fun. I just like in the middle of the night, sometimes it'll happen and it makes it feel like you're going to
like puke?
throw up. Yeah.
Do you
so I
think
have
it's
to like
because you threw up so much like in the beginning? Like did that
I don't know.
like
There's
make
just
it
like
worse?
there's just like no room. Because
Oh.
my mom was saying that once he drops, it'll probably help a lot with that. Same with like the rib pain. My ribs feel like they're being bruised.
Ow.
So once he drops and like breathing, sometimes it feels like you're like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe because he's right up in there.
Ouch.
But once he drops, hopefully that'll make some room for some things. He has the hiccups right now.
Dang, makes you a little more appreciative to your mother for carrying you.
Right. Especially like I have a pretty long torso, so I feel bad for anyone who's like shorter.
Oh yeah.
They definitely deal with it. But some people don't get heartburn bad, and that's really lucky for them. But I definitely had some like, I don't want to call it gas issues, but I used to get trapped gas, like if I waited too long to eat or whatever. So I had some issues before pregnancy, so it probably makes me a higher risk once
Interesting.
pregnant. So that's what I've been dealing with. That's my life update. Occurred.
That is like I get like we should be conscious about what we're putting in our bodies regardless.
Right.
But like, yeah, you don't think about like, oh, I shouldn't eat this food because it's going to make me like I genuinely don't know if I've ever had heartburn.
That's super nice. I wouldn't have said that I've had heartburn before. I've had like trapped gas where it feels like it's pokey in you, but the like heartburn is like burning in your chest and in your throat, and I had never had that till pregnancy, and I didn't realize. Yeah. Like
Not cool.
We went to Quads on Sunday, and I couldn't even eat the salsa because I can't eat anything tomato based. It sets it off really bad.
Oh, that's sad.
So I just eating like the chips.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
When the baby comes out, I'll take you to Quads.
I'm gonna be shoving pizza and pasta and salsa.
All the tomato-based things. Interesting.
Yes.
Crazy.
But yeah, that's pregnancy thus far.
Yes. Fun times. How many weeks are you right now?
I'm 33.
Okay.
By the time this comes out, I'll be 34.
34. Dang. 6 weeks away.
Yep.
That's crazy.
If he comes on due date anyways.
Yeah, true.
Or
we want him to come early or late so that I'm here, as everyone knows.
I'm rooting for early.
But yeah, so today's episode is basically just going to be like general wedding Q&A. I had put a poll on my photography Instagram page and then just kind of directed people from there to go and ask questions. So they're kind of everywhere. I read through a few and then I like some of them have not read at all. So basically we'll just read them and then we can each give our thoughts on, as wedding vendors or someone who's married, what you would have done for your wedding.
All right.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Okay. Someone asked, what color is best to wear as a guest? How dressed up should you be, etc.?
I'd say that depends on the wedding.
Yeah, I definitely think, obviously, don't wear white. Everyone knows that.
Yeah,
even though some people do it, it never fails. Okay, I will say, though, Ashlyn and I were just talking about this because she follows a photographer who is saying, like, in the summer, like, if I just need an easy, like, outfit to wear, she just wears, like, black pants and a white linen shirt. And I was like, yeah, I feel like that would maybe be okay as a vendor. You could get away with it.
Yeah, because a lot of the waiters
and
are
like
in that.
white linen is maybe a little different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
No.
I've wore like cream shackets to a wedding. As a vendor. As a guest, definitely like read the venue. If it's a outdoor being held at their family farm, reception in the shop, yeah, you can probably go a little bit more casual.
Yeah.
If it's at a very traditional church with a more like ball gown set or like ballroom type reception, yeah, dress up. I also would always just err on the side of like dressing up more than dressing down.
Yeah. And it's a fun occasion to do that.
Yeah.
Like you don't get to do that often.
Like dress up and have fun with it. As far as colors go, like I think just season appropriate.
Yeah, I'd say the same. And avoid like super patterned
stuff. Or if you know like say you know that the bridesmaids are in maroon, depending on how well you know the bride and groom. Like, if you know the color palette, maybe don't wear a long maroon dress.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you know that that's what their colors are.
Yeah. And if you're not really, I mean, like, you're not family, you're not in pictures, it doesn't really matter if you you match the
right
thing.
I wouldn't worry about matching the bridal party unless it is like, oh, my boyfriend's sister's getting married and I'm sure I'm going to be in a few of the photos. Maybe I should wear something that coordinates well with his outfit that he's wearing. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, the next one is, how much is too much to ask bridesmaids to spend on bachelorette party?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I would say you know your bridesmaids more than anyone.
Yeah.
I know.
I feel like age and job is a huge factor. Like, if you're a young bride, a lot of your friends aren't going to have a lot of money to do anything.
If your friends are all still in college and you guys are young, maybe not in a full-time job where you're making enough money to do stuff like that, I guess be courteous of that. I don't know, like, dollar amount. I was telling someone the other day, if someone personally were to ask me to be in their wedding, I would expect to spend about $2,000. And I know that sounds like a lot, but I was like explaining to them, like, okay, so start off, you've got any like bridal shower gifts, you have bachelorette party, the party itself, you have travel to it, you have hotel rooms, and then you have buying your actual dress, you have hair and makeup the day of, you have a room probably. You might
have to get shoes,
like, there's just so much that goes into like being a bridesmaid that like you should kind of know that you're going to have some money put into it.
Yeah. Because
no one wants to be, and I get some people are like on a budget and it's not within their budget to spend $500 for a bachelorette party. I'm like the epitome of like, I'm always up for travel. So when people are like, oh, should we do should the bachelorette party, let's just do it like, you know, in Aberdeen, just have like a girls' night, or versus like going to Scottsdale, I'd be like, oh my gosh, go to Scottsdale.
Right.
But I'm also like in my travel era, so.
Right. Again, it's just very situational. So if you're young and in college and you have to have a girls' night in town, you can totally do it up that way.
Make it fun.
And if you're in your 30s and you guys can all afford to travel and take time off or whatever, then do that. I think, like you said, it really depends. You have to know your bridesmaids and know where they are.
But I would say just like for a like
standard.
Okay, like standard, even if you go to Fargo for the weekend, you're going to have a couple hundred into that by the time people pay for fuel, pay for hotel rooms, food, drinks, whatever it may be. Like, I would minimum expect to spend $300 for the weekend.
Yeah.
And that's like going somewhere if you drive.
Yeah.
Anytime you start throwing flights around,
you're going to get
you're going to drop $500 easy.
Well, let's just say like for your birthday, you could have easily could have been like a bachelorette party with the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, you paid for the house in that, so that takes off a huge expense. But if we had been splitting the house, I would have said we probably would have all spent like $900.
Yeah,
plus.
by the time you get flights and stuff in there, yeah, for sure.
So
I would say you know your bridal party, and also like if you're wanting numbers at your bachelorette party versus your just bridesmaids, then have it close, have it easy for people to be able to drive, make it an easy weekend where everyone can kind of be there. But if you're like, no, I just want my like close knit group, do a travel one. It's going to weed out the people that really don't care enough about you to spend the money to do it, if everyone's like willing to pay the money for flights and stuff.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice.
I think that's good.
Yeah, but that's a good, when you said my birthday, like I don't think I would have asked my friends when I was 21 to do that trip.
Right.
You know, like, so know your crew and make sure everyone's on the same page, because a lot of them might look at it like, oh, we're going to Nashville, or oh, we're going to Scottsdale, which are like two of the highest bachelorette
they literally have like bachelorette houses
places.
In those places.
Like a lot of people might look at that as like a really fun experience, just regardless, that they're like, I'm willing to spend the money because I've really been wanting to hike Camelback, or I've been wanting to do whatever it may be, go to the Grand Ole Opry. So yeah,
Go downtown Broadway.
so fun. Okay, someone said, what are the best color combos and outfits for engagement photos or videos?
I always love a neutral palette.
I do love a neutral palette. I will say, I always tell my couples that because you really don't do a ton of engagement videos, do you?
No.
Here and there, every once in a while.
I've done a couple for like couples that I know, or like I just wanted to go along with JC or practice.
Oh yeah,
some
you
stuff.
did that one. That was fun.
Yeah.
I always tell my couples to stick with a color palette that's going to be the color palette for the wedding. That way, when you're wearing like whatever you wear for your engagement photos, most likely those photos are going to be either used on an invite. They might get used at your bridal shower. They might get used for the guest book. They might be used as photos around the wedding, whatever they get used for, your wedding website.
Right.
It helps to have like a color palette that is the same color palette as your wedding colors.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So that's what I would say. And if you're looking for a color palette for your wedding, stick with neutrals. No. I will say, after shooting that one in Mexico, it did kind of like spark my love for color a little bit.
Yeah.
I forgot how good, like bold, tropical. But
how
it's
it
because
pops.
you're on the beach too.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay. Where the heck do you start on getting your timeline down? I'm going to let JC take this one because she's a pro.
I do lots of timelines. So depending on if you're working with a planner or not, I would recommend sitting down with them. Obviously, some of the big things that get set in stone right away would be the ceremony time. And I would just talk to your photographer, videographer, like get a solid timeline, especially for the morning, so that you can get all of your photos done ahead of time. I usually recommend using so if you had like a 4:00 ceremony time, like family photos at 2:30, that way it gives you like 30 minutes for family photos, and then you have a nice break between family photos and the ceremony, just so you can relax. Blue's trying to put his input on our timelines.
Let me yell at him.
He's like actually really barking. Yeah. So just going off of like your ceremony time and then basically moving backwards from there, I feel like it helps to have about like an hour for bridal party, half an hour to 45 minutes for like just the couple first look. But I would definitely just reach out to your photographer. I wonder who asked this one. Let me look. Oh, yeah, she's one of my brides. Okay. Yes, just message me and we can get your timeline set up. Because a lot of
You'll
times...
You'll probably have
like,
a timeline meeting anyways.
Yeah, so a lot of times I obviously know how much time I need to shoot in the morning or like before the ceremony. And then the rest, like a lot of times, like the DJ might have input on like, okay, if the meal's at this time, this is what time I would recommend we do speeches.
Right.
Talk to your vendors. Don't just try to do it on your own. Yeah. Or if you've been in a wedding, like maybe you were a bridesmaid at a wedding and you're like, hey, I really thought that day flowed really nicely. Maybe just ask if you still have it on your phone, or like ask the bride and say like, hey, could I just have your wedding timeline? Just I thought the day went really well. They'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
I know like one of my brides for this year, her sister got married the year before and I shot her wedding and she was like, can we just use her timeline? Like it was so good. And I was like, yeah, for sure. Okay. Someone said, what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you at one of your weddings? And then said also, have you guys, we'll just say this is Lindy. Also, have you guys told the story of how JC basically saved Olivia's wedding day by stopping the fire? I think that that's not true. I didn't know about the fire.
No.
Someone saved the day. We have talked about the fire.
Yes, we have talked about the fire at my wedding. And it was saved by the
Was it the
chef.
coordinator or the chef? Oh, the chef.
Because, so like, yeah, the chef was back in the kitchen and she just came out because she wanted to see what the venue looked like. She likes doing that. And she saw a table was on fire.
Oh my god.
And then my two friends who were decorating for me went in there and like took care of it with the deck staff.
I did not know about it until the podcast came out.
Yeah.
For some reason, like it had just never really gotten brought up.
I didn't know.
You didn't know about it until
my honeymoon when I got charged for it. Yeah.
It got brought up that one time with Austin at the deck.
He talked about it at a meeting. We had.
Yeah. That's the first time I heard about it.
And he didn't know it was me as the bride. He was just saying, well, that one time that we had a fire alarm go off or whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's my wedding.
Like, yeah, that's me.
But they just told me that there was, oh, no, nothing's wrong, whatever. And they fixed it and they put a new centerpiece and it was fine.
Look at them go.
But I just had to pay for linen and table damage.
That's fair. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I get it. Like, they obviously have to bill someone. I would still say the most, I've done embarrassing things at weddings all the time. Like, but I will, and I've told this story before, I think. But like, the most embarrassing thing I think I've ever done at a wedding was, one time I walked into the bridal suite and the bride was there and her mom was there. And that was very, like, I knew her mom. And then there was this other lady there who was significantly older. I just assumed it was her grandma. And so I was like, oh yeah, like maybe we could get like mom, daughter, and grandma in a shot. And the lady looked at me and she's like, I am the groom's mother. And I was just like, oh no.
Like, I wasn't talking about you.
I was like, oh yeah, no, yeah, duh, okay. And I just like left the room. It was so embarrassing. And like, I always say, in my defense, the bride and groom had an age gap. He was older. He was also like the youngest son. Like,
yeah,
she was grandma age.
Yeah,
absolutely. But like, she acted so offended by it. And that's the thing. It's like, she
didn't have a grandchild that old.
Right. She could have probably like just like laughed it off and been like, oh, I'm the groom's mom, you know. But the way that she was like so offended by it made it so embarrassing to me. I like didn't.
You're like, I'm actually embarrassed for you.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't even want to like during family photos. She just like scowled at me, and I was like, I felt so bad, but like at the same time, like, okay, twofold. My lesson to be learned is don't assume things. And also, like, on her end, like, have some grace.
Right.
You know, you don't look like you're 40. Right. Like, don't act so offended, ma'am. Anyway.
Mine is very similar. It's just like, it's not like so embarrassing, but just I'll assume that parents are grandparents or that parents are together when they're divorced or that.
Yeah.
Oh, you mom and dad, and it's like, oh, that's not my dad, that's my stepdad or my mom's boyfriend or something like that.
People make you feel bad about it.
Yeah, and you're like, well, how am I supposed to know? Which is why we include the question in our questionnaires of like any family dynamics we should be aware of.
Yes, agreed. Agreed. I know. I think I literally have on my questionnaire like, sorry for all the questions, but I'm really good at sticking my foot in my mouth.
Yeah, you're like, I need to be prepared so that I don't get embarrassed at your wedding.
Oh, no kidding.
Okay, someone said, should I hire a film photographer? I say that depends on your style.
Yeah, so film photography is really taking off.
Mm-hmm. It's coming back.
Yes, it is coming back along with all of the vintage trends.
All the trends.
I know personally, I have a few photographer friends who are starting to incorporate film photography into their actual shooting experience. So like, you know, they're shooting, so they're shooting digital for all of the main photos, but then they'll do like some more artsy shots with film.
Yeah, that's cool.
I also know that like ties into a lot of, which I know this is on a different level, but like, so a lot of times like in bigger cities and high budget weddings, they will have like a videographer, a photographer, and then they'll have a like content creator hired to come in. And basically the content creator is just taking like behind the scenes, taking just photos of everything, just like iPhone only. Okay. But I've seen that some of these like content creators now are starting to do film. Because it's low stress. You're literally just doing candids. You're doing behind the scenes. Nothing is really staged. Nothing is really...
I would love that job.
Yeah.
I would thrive.
Honestly, if we lived in a bigger, I hate to say this, but like if we lived in a bigger town, because I know there's I know of for sure one in Sioux Falls who like does
a place where people are higher income probably, and like they care about their social media stuff.
Yes,
which we're not saying it's
a lot of it is
but it would be fun to do.
Right, going to be like either people who do have a big social media presence, or just really like the behind the scenes. Because I know I have which I really do try to get photos back to brides quickly. Like I try to get their preview to them like within 2 days after the wedding. But like I totally get the whole like opening your phone the next day and being like, I just had the biggest day of my life and there's no photos on my phone.
Yeah.
And just wanting to see like, even if they're not good photos, but just to relive it like on your phone. I mean, I have like 28,000 photos on my phone. You think they're all good? No.
Right. Well, that's like why there's the new thing of giving one of your bridesmaids the job of having your phone and like taking pictures throughout the day and then making sure that it gets passed around at the reception so like for Lindy and Noah's wedding, we were passing around the phone. I actually never got it, but everybody else did, and they were doing video messages to them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so they had like
That's fun.
at the airport, they had a ton of videos to look through.
Oh,
like people being
cute.
like, we love you guys. And
yeah.
blah, blah.
I love that. But yeah, so should you hire a film photographer? If it's something that you really love the aesthetics of film and it's something that's in your budget and you think would be fun, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would just recommend, if you are hiring a separate photographer to come in and do film, make sure you double check your contract that you have with your like main photographer,
right? And
if it's a little blurry, just like talk to them about it and say like, hey, this is something I want to do, are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think it's a really cool idea. I've thought about dabbling in it, but like I haven't gotten very far.
I think
Polaroids is as far as I've gotten.
Yeah, which that's cool too. I like also, if you're wanting like a filmy effect, but you don't want the filming photographer, do the disposables at the tables at your reception, or like give them to your bridesmaids.
I do love that, but I just got one developed that had been passed around at Lauren's wedding, which was a while ago.
Right.
But I like finally just got it developed. There were so many bad photos, like just poor like decision.
Maybe you only
photos.
give it to your like bridesmaids.
Yeah, like I'm like maybe send someone around who knows what they're doing to take the cute photos, because there was a lot of like really bad selfies that were just so flashed out that you couldn't even tell who was in the photo.
Yeah.
It was sad.
That is sad.
Okay, next question is, are detail shots really a must-have or a pass? Detail shots. Thoughts?
I mean, it depends. If you spent a lot of time, it's always very situational, but if you spent a lot of time picking out your invites and you have like a cool ring box, or your rings are important to you, or anything that you're like, I'm wearing my mom's shoes or whatever, then like that's a very good way to capture that and remember that from that day.
True.
I like them for video because it's a good like establishing shot or like in between shot, and
like good for storytelling, kind of like setting the mood, setting the vibe.
Do I think you're gonna frame it?
No. If anything, so it's always interesting to me. So like all of my brides that book my biggest package get a free like customized book with their package, and they get to pick the photos that go into the book, right?
Right.
And detail shots seldomly get even put into the book.
Wow.
Maybe like one or two, or like, a dress shot and like one shot with the rings, but like it's not very many.
Yeah.
And you think about it, it's like, I think it's good to have them. Like they are pretty, but are you going to frame them on the wall? No. Are they going to make it in the book? Maybe.
Yeah.
If anything, it might be just for like looking back to remember it. Like, oh, what did our wedding invites look like?
Yeah.
It's been 5 years. I don't super remember.
Or if you wanted to show off like your vendors, like the florals and the invite person, or like, and you have all that or whatever.
I think they're pretty. I like taking them just because I think they add to like the post, and like people like to see that stuff.
Yeah.
But I also could argue detail shots could be like of the reception. Like you maybe do really want to remember like, oh yeah, me and my fiance made all these boxes that were the centerpieces,
right?
And like I really want some nice photos of those. The funny thing that I feel like people end up using detail shots from the ceremony or the reception for is they use it to sell their stuff.
Yep. I was gonna say, first of all, I wanted to like see my decor because I feel like on the day I didn't really take it all in, so I like looking back on it, and then I've been able to show people like, this is what I have if you want to borrow it, because I've had a lot of people like ask to borrow stuff from our wedding. So
yeah, I'd say they definitely have a place. If you're questioning like, do I need to have my photographer there all morning so she can get all these detail shots? Maybe not if it's like super high priority to you. Like have them come a little closer to when you're gonna like just be getting in your dress. If you're like, no, I don't need like photos upon photos of my dress hanging at the church, or lay flat shots. But I think they have a place.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yep. Okay. It's this thing. I asked that one, right? Or did you ask that one? Oh.
I think, did I?
Oh, okay.
You read the next one.
Okay. How do you feel about sparkler exits? We probably should go a little quicker through these for two.
Yeah, we're getting real windy.
We still have a lot.
Yeah, we do have a lot of questions. Thanks, guys, for asking so many questions. Sparkler exits, yeah, do them. If you have time and your venue allows them, I love them.
Yeah, super great.
They're fun.
And just make sure you have someone who's there and organized with them, and a bucket of like sand for people to put them in afterwards. Make
sure you have a safety plan. Make sure you have someone who's responsible that's going to light them. But yeah, I think they're really fun. They make really fun photos. Yeah, absolutely. I also think confetti cannons are really fun. Not a lot of people are doing those, and I think they're really fun. Those are cool. Yeah. Someone said, what are your top 5 best wedding food sides? Potatoes, 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 with a side of potatoes.
JC loves potatoes.
I just had Shag and Pit on Saturday, and they have their cheesy hash browns. I will say cheesy hash brown potatoes do rank pretty high on my sides for a wedding.
Yeah, that's good.
Or just like, okay, top 5. I get to pick 3, you get to pick 2.
Okay.
Hash brown potatoes is my number 1. What's number 2?
I really like potatoes too, but I would say a good salad. They have a good salad.
Yep. I love just like roasted vegetables, like peppers, carrots, like onions, like just like broccoli, like fresh roasted vegetables. That's good. Always pretty solid.
I can't even think of 5. They always have. I'm thinking of ones I don't like. I don't always like sometimes mushy green beans or
if
corn.
They're like well done, like
if green beans are good, I like green beans. There's a lot of things I like if they're done well.
Yeah, true. Chips and salsa.
I was gonna say chips and salsa or chips and guac, but that's more like a cocktail
depending
hour.
On like what your like main meal is.
You're not gonna have that if you're having pasta later,
right? You're probably not gonna have chips and salsa with a side of roast beef, like yeah. But I would say that's really high. Another good side, probably just mashed potatoes. Let's be honest, we're in the Midwest. People like beef. They like potatoes. They like their meat.
I like and pasta they like their potatoes too. If it's like an outdoor wedding, a good pasta salad, like which you can't really.
No, partake. But it is a good JC side likes option.
Gluten-free things.
Yeah, I like gluten-free sides, like potatoes. I'm done with the potatoes. What's the next question?
What is the wedding trend you want to see more of this year? We actually did a whole episode on this, which you can go and listen to if you want to know what trends we are loving and hope to see more of this year. We did.
Should I go look what episode it is?
Sure.
Ask the next question and I'll find it.
Are you a morning person or a night owl? I'm a night owl.
I am also a night owl, but I will say, love how productive one can be when you wake up early. Yes. I got up at 6:15 this morning and I've gotten so much done.
I was up at 7 and I have also gotten a lot done. Yeah. But I feel like the urge to do more at night, and that's why I classify myself as a night owl, because I could like, I want to do this and this and this, and I don't always have that right away in the morning. It's more like I have to push myself to do stuff.
I agree. I just like naturally can like, I'm high energy at night, I guess you could say.
Yeah, same.
Did we not like, how I feel about
something with trends, right?
Oh yeah, wedding trends we're loving. So it was episode 2 on this season. It was way back in October.
So check it out.
Has anything changed since then? Have you seen any trends that you like, really like, or don't like? Or she said like.
Yeah. No, I'd still say like, I like very springy time, or like florals that are very spread out and like colorful, but not.
I've been seeing some floral arches that look pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we all know that I'm you and I are both big floral people.
Yeah.
Okay, this is cute. I'll read it. It was from my bride on Saturday. She goes, "You are amazing. Literally crying in Mexico. I'm so happy." I had like just sent out her preview before I asked these questions. So sweet.
You're lucky you're in Mexico right now.
Yes.
It's a good time of year to take your honeymoon. I mean, to have a wedding and then.
Yeah, it's an ideal time to have like a destination warm honeymoon right after a wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Thoughts on outdoor weddings?
I love outdoor weddings.
Yeah, they're great. Just not at the dead center of July into July.
Right.
With no shade.
I'd say just like think about the time of the ceremony.
Yes.
Obviously harsh lighting, heat, like have a later ceremony time if you're going to be doing an outdoor wedding and it's going to be hot.
Think about time of year, like
also think about like where the sun is going to be. Ideally, you'd probably want the sun like when you're walking down the aisle, you would want to be like walking into the sun because then that way
like it's in front of you.
Yeah. Like everyone's looking into the sun while they're looking at you up at the aisle, like up at the front.
Oh.
Because for lighting.
But then the pictures are going to be
better. The pictures are going to be way better.
But hopefully the sun's it's not like at a.
Right.
You're
not
doing
like
it at the
right
right time so
eyes.
that they're not all. But they can also be wearing sunglasses because they're just guests. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And it'll just be the back of their heads. It's fine. And also I would say, yes, love outdoor weddings, but have a backup plan in case it's pouring rain.
Yep.
Have a plan.
Or crazy wind.
Right.
Which is 100% a thing. I've had to hold mini dresses between my legs while filming outdoor ceremonies. And that's why we wear shorts under our dresses.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I still don't want my dress to fly up, even though I'm wearing shorts.
Always I'll like sometimes wear these like obnoxiously hot pink spandex just to be like, anyone see the spandex today? Someone said, what do you think the most important part of the ceremony is?
I think there's a few. The bride coming down, the groom's reaction, the vows, and the first kiss. Yeah.
I think that like
if you mean capturing wise.
Yeah, as far as like capturing it, obviously, yes, the groom's reaction, the bride, the hugs, just any of the emotional parts I feel like are always the ones that you like want to document the most. But as far as like what truly matters, like, yeah, your vows.
Yeah, the vows.
I get like a lot of people do unity ceremonies. I don't know. Like if you have something that's really meaningful to you and you want to do it, great. If you're just doing it because it's a tradition,
Yeah.
But yeah, your vows. I heard a really cute one. It was like on Instagram. It was this reel and she was like crying and she goes, and thank you for always wiping my tears for me. I know that's a lot. And he's like wiping her tears while she's saying her vows. It was so sweet.
That's sweet.
It was really cute.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Favorite getting ready outfits. I think it depends on your style. If you're like a sweats kind of person, I think rocking a sweat like jacket,
like a little sweatsuit would be really cute.
Yeah.
Oh,
or
I just
like
thought.
Even shorts and like a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Pajamas, matching
the pajamas are cute depending on where you're getting ready. I would say think about like where you're going to be. Like if you're going to be in a salon, no, you're probably not going to be in PJs.
Right.
But if you're going to be in a hotel room, then maybe PJs would be
or
really
your house
cute.
or something.
Yes. The robes are always fun. I feel like some people put a lot of effort into what everyone's wearing. And then I'll be like, oh, do we need to get a photo of this? And they'll be like, no, because so-and-so's still in makeup and so-and-so's waiting to get her hair done. And then they don't even get a photo with it. So like, yes, have something cute, but I wouldn't spend a ton of money on it personally.
Some people just are like, hey, wear a flannel, button-down flannel.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would say like the brides, if anything, like have something you really like.
Yeah.
But also like even just a cute like little like 2-piece linen set or something fun like that. Biker shorts and an oversized tee.
Yeah.
Make it
whatever is really you, because there's some girls who are super glam and so they get those robes with the furs.
Yes. I was literally thinking that exact same thing.
Or like the lacy backs and then they have the like the
sexy
white
under,
pajamas under or whatever. And that's cute and that's totally them. But if you're like a country girl, you're not going to be doing that. That's not important to you.
No.
And so get something that you'll wear again, True. Kind of.
Yeah.
So like for Lindy, she wore sweat shorts that said wifey and a shirt that said wifey.
That's cute.
And then she also had a robe to put on once she started getting her hair and makeup done so that it wouldn't mess it up.
I've just been loving all of the like Nike 2-piece like jogger sweatshirt sets that like I've been seeing people like throw them on for like the reception.
Yeah, Lindy wanted to do that, but we were like, girl, you're getting married in August. Like, that's hot.
Probably.
And it was hot. They were sweating.
Yeah. As far as like photos go, I would say just like the robes or like the PJs. I always photograph really cute, but like whatever's your style.
Yeah. So many options.
Yeah. Okay. Someone said favorite reception traditions. Example, dollar dance, bouquet toss, anything new and fun, ?
I mean, I'd say do the dollar dance because people love it. And I mean, I'm not going to like video it.
Right.
And you're probably not really going to photograph it. We might not even be there for it. But do it because people earn a lot of money.
Do it for the dollars.
Yeah. I'm sad we didn't. I thought it was cheesy, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. It's awkward. I don't want to have to dance with random people.
Yeah.
But then Adam's cousin did it at their wedding. They earned so much money. I was like, oh my gosh, why did we not do that?
Yeah. So there's multiple ways you can do the dollar dance or like
earn money.
Like, yeah, like
the cake smash thing.
Yes. You can do like the cake in the face where people have to put money in the jars. You can do dollar dances. The kind of like, I feel like very trendy thing right now, a lot of DJs are doing scavenger hunts where it like starts with, it's like bridesmaids versus groomsmen, and like the first one to find a Minnesota driver's license, or the first one to find a foreign currency, or a stick of bubble gum, or white socks, or whatever it may be.
I've seen them before.
Really?
Yeah.
You've never been at a wedding where they did a scavenger hunt?
No.
Oh.
I've done where they've made the bride and groom, like where it's the race thing and they have to run around and grab money from people.
Yeah, so that's what it turns into.
Okay.
So then what they do is in the very last thing they say, oh, it's tied up, bridesmaids versus groomsmen. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We have 2 minutes on the clock, and whoever can find more money, bridesmaids or groomsmen, and everyone goes out. And they usually make like at least 1,000.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the wedding size and
I've
stuff.
seen where just like the bride and the groom go out and they have to like run and grab money from people, and sometimes the people will be like, I need a kiss or give me a hug, or they'll do something like that.
That's fun.
And then there's the garter auction, which is a very Midwest
true.
thing.
That's a very Midwest thing. That's another thing. I would say
I'm not a fan of really
I hate the shoe
toss.
game. I'll say it right now.
Oh yeah, the shoe game's
The shoe game is one of my least favorite things.
DJs
I like a good dollar dance.
reason.
As like someone who like when I go to like my friends' weddings, I like to go and like pay the, whatever, throw a 1 in, throw a 20 in, whatever you want to throw in. And you get to like have that one-on-one time with them and actually like have a cute little conversation, chat with them. Like I like dollar dances.
Yeah.
I know some people will like poo-poo them, but like I like them.
Yeah. I feel like the garter toss is probably going out, and the bouquet toss for a lot of people too, because I would say with the bouquet toss, if it's like fun, whatever.
Yeah.
Especially if you're actually giving people real flowers that they can take home, that's more incentive.
That's true.
But know your friend group. Like, are you the last one getting married?
Right.
Are
Is
most
it just
of them
be a bunch
married?
of little girls out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say about that.
Big fan of nacho bars at 10 o'clock.
Oh yeah, late night snack foods.
The late night snack foods. And I get that like maybe it's not like, again, like whatever your favorite food is, like have it be what you guys like.
Pizza, pretzels.
Yeah, whatever.
Cheese,
yeah, whatever it is. But like, yeah, I always think it's fun to have a little like snacks.
I've seen
night.
people bring in McDonald's and like have it
like
set
little
up,
Happy Meal,
or
like,
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A. I've seen
that'd be
do
so
that.
good. Maybe if I shoot a wedding in Sioux Falls, somebody.
Or they've
have
had like
that.
mini pizza boxes.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our thoughts, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Is there one left? What is one thing you wish you did on your wedding day that you didn't do?
It's dollar dance. No, just kidding.
Yeah, Olivia wants the dollar dance.
That, and I had some songs that didn't get played that I was like, there's this One Direction song called Olivia, and I really wanted them to play it and me to like dance in the center.
That might be coming from you. That's actually surprising to me because you're not like a center of attention person.
No, but I just thought it would be so funny.
Like that would be like the time.
Because it's like the song is like, I live for you, Olivia.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh, I'm going to have to go listen to this. I'll play it for you. You can dance in the living room. I think just, and granted, like obviously, I'm just going to ignore the fact that like, oh, my wedding, whatever. But like one thing I just want people to like realize and remember is that like, this is the one time in your life where everyone that you love and care for, friends and family that are alive and care about you, are probably going to take the time to be at this wedding, and just like try to be present. And I know it's impossible sometimes to like talk to everyone, but like soak it in and just actually like forget about the like, oh, did we get photos with my groomsmen's socks that I custom ordered them? Like, you know, like, I mean, yes, maybe you really want photos of that, whatever. But like,
just
like,
trust your photographer to get what they need to get, and like, just enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
and
don't sweat the little things, and like enjoy your time.
Yeah.
And like try to like talk to all the people there at least, like, and I get maybe you're gonna be on the dance floor and tell people to like come to the dance floor. And
I did that. That is one thing, and it was more at my rehearsal dinner because like all of our extended family came to the rehearsal dinner, and I wished that I had, which I went around and talked to people, but also it was like next to Adam, and I'm like, why was I doing that? We were literally about to, you know, then go on a honeymoon after that, and all this family came, like, and I felt like I got really good time with my bridesmaids and stuff, obviously, but I just wish I had like been more intentional about talking to everyone.
That's another thing too, like maybe invite more people to the rehearsal dinner
or groom supper, whatever they call it.
Whatever you want to call it. Just because that is a very intimate time where you get to see people that maybe have traveled from out of town, or that you don't get to see very much. Like, say your aunt and uncle really have nothing to do with the wedding, as far as like maybe they're not a host and hostess, or maybe they're not anything like titled, but still just invite them. Like, I'm sure they would love to be there, and you would get to have more time with them.
Yeah. Or if you're doing like an activity, this is more for like the groom, but if like the groomsmen are doing activities, and it doesn't just have to be your groomsmen, you can invite your like extended cousins or whatever to be a part of it. Or like I had some of my cousins who weren't like in my wedding come and were just there while we were getting ready, so we could all just hang out.
That's so fun. I think just like if you have the space for it and stuff, just because people have, you know, not always, but a lot of people like have to travel for weddings, and like just, I mean, obviously don't, like, if they don't want to come, don't, but at least have the open invitation for if they want to.
And I would also say don't put pressure on yourself to see every table at your wedding and like talk to each table if that's not a priority to you, or if like all these people live around you too.
If they're people you see every day,
or like catch me on the dance floor, which we did tell people that were like, if you want to talk to us, we'll be on the dance floor, but like to make time for the people who, you know, have really put in an effort to be there for you.
Also, one last thing, going back to the what's the most important part of the ceremony, the wedding that I shot on Saturday had a really good like wedding sermon.
Oh, nice.
And I was thinking about that, and I was like, obviously they like chose to like get married at this church, like, you know, like they went through the premarital counseling with that pastor, like whoever it may be, and like they chose to have a very like gospel centered sermon. And I was thinking about that. I was like, that's actually really impactful and really cool, because again, everyone that you love and care about is there, and if they're not saved, like that's a really great like time to witness to them.
That's actually
that they can hear a good sermon that maybe they have never sat under that type of a sermon before.
But that's something Adam and I chose too with our wedding, was like we really want it to be Christ-centered, gospel-centered, because a lot of the people that are coming don't really have an opportunity to hear this, or don't choose to, so we want this to be that.
I think that's really cool.
Like,
and something that should be important to you if that's where your heart is. Very fun.
All right.
Cool. Any other Q&As for me?
We went so far.
Oh no. Fun. Well, that was actually really fun. I feel like we got a lot of really fun questions. We missed one. It said the meal self-serve or plated. Self-serve.
I feel like it's quicker.
I want to be able to serve however many cheesy potatoes I want.
And also for us, like having to wait to be served, and then like, if we're one of the last tables or something, just as vendors. I also feel like there are a lot of picky eaters in this world, and I feel like when you bring plated meals, like even if they did like RSVP for the chicken marsala or the roast beef and whatever, like maybe they hate corn, but that was the only option, or maybe they hate green beans, and it's like that's really wasteful, because then they're not even gonna eat it and it's just sitting there, versus like if you can go through a buffet line and you're like, oh, I want the beef and I want the potatoes and I don't even want a salad because it's just gonna go to waste. Like Adam never eats a salad.
So less waste. I like that. Yay, fun. Well, if you guys have any other fun little Q&As for us, go leave a review and we will answer said Q&A
Yeah. Said Q.
Said Q. But yeah, no, this was really fun. I always like when we do wedding ones, especially like now that wedding season's like getting closer, which is crazy. But like basically May is like kind of weddings start up again, so that's gonna be here soon.
Crazy. I was just checking if we had any new.
I just checked and there was no new ones.
No new ones. The last one we have is from 1 year ago. And it says, came to learn about weddings, instead learned about impregnating practices for cows, 5 stars. So
that was a good episode.
I'm pretty sure that was Levi. So thanks, Levi. And if Levi's not listening, then Carly can tell Levi that we mentioned him.
Yes. Tell him to go leave another cleverly wrote
review.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.